I'm doing all right. How about yourself, man?
I'm doing wonderful.
Good.
So I wanted to ask you, right? So you broke your neck?
Yeah,
Right.
I broke my neck.
How'd you wind up doing that?
I was working out in the state of Kansas and working out in the snow and walked across black ice and slipped on the black ice, fell across the beam, hit my shoulder blades, and I walked around 3.5 months not knowing that I had a broken neck.
You were just walking on the ground, or you were up on the...
I was up on steel.
Oh, okay.
Up on a roof. It's a flat roof, though. It snowed. Snow had melted. Then it snowed again. It was up under the snow. So I was walking along, going to give somebody a set of keys so he could get the prints out of my truck. And when I went to throw the keys, I hit the black ice, and then I fell and broke my neck.
And for 3 months, you didn't know.
3.5 months, I didn't know.
When did you finally figure that out?
Well, my company stood behind me. You know, I went in, I was working on a hospital, which was, pretty cool, but, so I was able to go right down, with a couple guys' help to get me in the hospital. But, so I went in the hospital, I had a CT scan where all my damage looked like it was on my shoulders. All my pain was in my shoulders. So for 3.5 months of seeing doctors, this doctor and that doctor, all of them looked at my shoulders and never looked at my neck. Workman's comp, all the bruises went away. There was no broken bone, but I still had the pain in my shoulders. They started getting to where they didn't believe me. They was ready to settle, me get back to work because doctors said they couldn't find nothing wrong with me. And they agreed with me. They would send me to one more doctor. And this doctor, if he came up with the same conclusion, we go ahead and settle with the junk, and you know what I mean? Because there's nothing wrong with me. I'd had to deal with it because they wasn't willing to stand behind me no more. They was paying bills and it was costing them money. That's when they started. See, I didn't hire a lawyer. Okay, I should have hired a lawyer from the get-go. All right, but I didn't hire a lawyer because they was paying me. They was taking care of me. They was sending me, making me my doctor's appointments. They was taking care of me, and I worked for this company for 12 years. So I didn't really want to stab them in the back or whatever. So
you wanted to be
I would,
cordial with them.
Exactly. So at that point, I went to the doctor. Well, that doctor, I thought was a workman's comp doctor. Let's just say. So I figured that I had to take care of things on my own by that point. You know what I'm saying? But this doctor walks in the room and then asked me where my pains were, stuff like that. Done his little rigmarole with his thing to check my reflexes, different stuff like that. Then he told me to get up and walk across the floor where you know how these hospital rooms are. They're little, or doctor's office where you go see. They're real little, you ain't gonna walk very far.
Right.
So at that point I thought, dang, here we go, another quack. Another one, they just sent me to try to satisfy me, you know what I'm saying? He told me to walk across the floor, so I took a few steps, was at the wall, turned around, you know what I mean? Like, well, what is this supposed to tell him? Because he ain't done nothing with my shoulders, you know what I'm saying? Or anything like that. And he said, do me a favor. He said, put both your feet together, close your eyes, and tilt your head backwards. And so when I done that, I lost all balance.
You didn't fall to the ground?
No, he grabbed me. You know what I mean? He says, help me sit there on the bed. You know what I mean? That little thing that they put you on. He helped me back on it, and he looked at me and he said, I don't think nothing's wrong with your shoulder. I think your problem's in your neck. And he said, I want to order an MRI. So I said, okay. You know what I mean? Right then it dawned on me, this man might know what he's talking about. You kind of see what I'm saying, but my pain was in my shoulders. Never felt nothing in my neck. And it was radiating pain, is what they call it. So when you do have damage to your neck, it can radiate pain anywhere in your body.
Right.
So because that's where all the nerves go through. And so I went to go get the MRI, but I had to get it approved. So when I called Workman's Comp, they said they wasn't going to pay for an MRI. Yeah. So
Really?
I said, okay, I'll pay for it. You kind of see what I'm saying?
Out of pocket.
Yep, out of pocket. And that's when I hired a lawyer.
So you had to go through a whole legal battle with that?
Yes. Because at that point, I realized that something was really messed up. You kind of see what I mean? This is more than just, a simple sprain, hurt, you know what I mean, bruised, because I never had no broken bones in my shoulders where they were looking. It was all bruising, all flesh damage because of how hard I hit backward, wasn't. And at that point, that's what I thought all it was, I hit hard. And give me a few weeks, I'll be okay. You kind of see what I'm saying? Didn't realize I had a broken neck. I'd done things I should have never done during them 3.5 months.
You were still working.
Right. I was doing light duty, but but I was doing things around the house. I was doing my normal routine,
things and
working,
all that kind of
yes. And anyway, 2 days later, I went to the hospital, asked him about the MRI because I could get it done at the hospital, or I could go to an MRI place and get it done, and it's more money, but probably pay less by getting it done at the hospital. So I went to the hospital and talked to them about the MRI, and they asked me how good my credit was. And I told them my credit's pretty good, I've got a decent credit, I'm
good enough.
Yeah, good enough, I guess. I don't know. You'd have to check it. I was telling them like it was. Well, she told me because she knew I'd already been there getting a bunch of tests, and I was under Workman's Comp. Because I'd already got x-rays, all kind of stuff there, and you have to go through the financial department and then get your, appointment or go to the x-ray in the hospital. So you have to go through them, and she done seen me before, so she knew. That's why she was trying to keep me having to pay for it out of pocket at that point. Because she said if something's wrong, Workman's Comp will definitely pay for it. Okay? And she was the one that said, you need to go get you a lawyer.
And so you got that all worked out?
So I done the MRI. Okay, 2 days after I done my MRI, the doctor calls me. The one I made me walk across the floor and stuff. Says, how quick can you get in my office? I said, about an hour and a half. He said, well, get to my office, but don't drive. And I said, well, if I got to walk, it's going to take a couple of days. You know what I'm saying? And, anyway, when I got to his office, he had me an appointment with the neurosurgeon. And he told me my neck was, my number 3 vertebrae was shattered, and both my discs was compressing my spinal cord to where if I'd have sneezed, it could have been crippled from my neck down. So all that time in them 3.5 months, I could have sneezed.
So you just real lucky that you didn't hurt it any further.
That's it. Absolutely lucky. You know what I'm saying? And when I walked into the the neurosurgeon's office, all of them looked at me. They was amazed. They didn't even know how I was walking. That's what they put me in the halo, man. They made sure that I did not move my neck.
Were they expecting you to come in like a wheelchair and everything?
They was expecting me not to be, you know what I mean?
As chipper as you were?
Right. That was me. There was nothing, they was amazed nothing was wrong with me. Because I walked in there like me, you know what I mean? And stuff like that. They was like, they had seen the MRI. They was ready to, I mean, they was already prepared to put me in a halo, all this other kind of stuff. Because I went in, they called my name, I went back, and 2 nurses went to working on me, throwing junk on me, and I'm like, wait a minute, what are y'all doing? I'm looking like a spaceman, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, what the heck are y'all doing, you know? And they said, well, we got to put you in the halo. You don't know how lucky you are. And
So-
we are amazed that you're even walking in here.
So
see
you
what I
had to
mean?
pay for all that out of pocket, including the surgery, or just the MRI?
No, just the MRI. I had to do that. And then once I got a hold of my lawyer and Dr. Gold, the neurosurgeon, got his junk together once he said what he said, and the information, Workman's Comp picked everything back up, paid me, you know what I mean, for the 1.5 years I was out of work, took care of all the hospital bills, everything, and then they gave me a settlement at the end. And they also gave me $50,000 in future medical in case I have to do anything in the future.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but it was playing hardball. I had to have a lawyer, or they would have, you know.
Oh, they just would have blew you off.
Right. I had to get a lawyer, and that's what made the ball roll. From then on, nothing, no more out of pocket.
So you still worked for them, or
No. That
that
was part
the
of
end of it?
that was part of our settlement. Is I never worked for them again.
Oh, okay.
Okay. That was their thing.
So what do you do now?
I still work for a union. I can't work for that company again.
Yeah, but like what kind of work?
Oh,
I
I
know
do.
construction, right?
No, I do pipe fitting. I'm a pipe welder.
So plumbing.
I run plumbing, just about any kind of pipe there is, but I run stainless steel and titanium. I weld it all together. I work in paper plants, power plants. I fix them. I keep them running.
You like it?
If it wasn't for me and the guys, our union, it's worldwide,
Mm-hmm.
nothing would happen. You wouldn't have your power. You wouldn't have your paper. You wouldn't have, you know, your shampoo.
You make the world go round.
Well, we pretty much, well, you know, we do our part. I mean, I'm proud of my union. That's why when you got into that, I'm going to tell you, you know, we really do. We keep all these big companies rolling, Ford places, cars, anything you do. We're the people that stand behind it and keep everything fixed so that you can have your automobile, so it can be built. You know what I mean? So your toilet paper can get to the grocery stores. I mean, I'm just telling you, for example,
Right.
just about anything you can think of, they need pipe, they need valves, they need steam and everything else going through this to make that. You kind of get where I'm coming from. So that's what we do. I mean,
Do you actually enjoy your job, or you just do it?
well, at this point, you're asking me at my age now, you know, I mean, it's like a habit, you know, but do I enjoy it? Yeah, at times, no. It just depends on the job and the people that I'm working around. I mean, you got all kind of people all over the United States, and I travel all over the United States with my job, and you meet good people, bad people, you know, I mean, but yeah, our union's pretty strong, and most of them are okay. But nah, yeah, at this point in my life, I'm ready to, you know, slow down, quit working, so
Retire.
yeah, kind of give it up. You
You got
know,
how many years till you retire?
probably 2.5.
Oh, so you're right there.
Yeah, that's why when you ask me that, do I like to work? It's hard to get up out of bed and go to work anymore, man. It's rougher on me now than it was 10, 20 years ago, you know what I mean? Since things has happened and stuff like that. But, you know, get back or talk more about my neck. I wasn't supposed to be able to do it ever again. You know what I'm saying? But my neurosurgeon was, you know, was the best in the Southeast. He fixed me. He done a good job. I got a metal plate, you know what I mean? Solid fusion.
Is
But
that the one you talk about that's in your throat?
yeah,
Mm.
that's I mean, he made it to where I was able to get myself back together. Because at that point, I was pretty low. You know what I mean? Because I wasn't going to be able to work no more right. You know what I mean? I wasn't going to be able to do my job. And I didn't have no left arm when I woke up after surgery. So I had to figure out ways to compensate with my right arm to still be able to do what I do. And I was 50 years old, or, 48 years old. I'd been doing the same thing for so many years. It wasn't going to be easy for me to change and do anything else with one hand. Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. So it was like a miracle that I was able to get back and do the same things that I enjoyed doing and keep on going like I'm going, and be able to do it for another close to 20 years, because it was 12 years ago when I broke my neck. So I wasn't supposed to. They said, you'll never weld again. You'll never gonna be able to do no pipe fitting again. You'll never be able to pick up more than this anymore. You got to totally change your life. And before the surgery, he told me, he said that he didn't know the damage that was done. That he had to go in there and repair it and get all the pressure off my spinal cord before he could really tell, what damage was actually done. Mm-hmm. And I woke up after surgery and my left arm didn't work no more. And that was the only thing that I had to deal with. I went to therapy. That's when it was a year and a half, because I went to therapy about six months. Mm-hmm. And they put a half a pound in my hand and it wouldn't hold it. You see what I'm saying? It just would not work. And I'd used every muscle in my whole body trying to make it work. You know what I'm saying? And finally I got in a swimming pool and pushed water. And that's how I got what I got back in my left arm, to where I was able still to use it to do my job. You know what I'm saying?
So is it back to the same? Or
it's not normal. It'll never be, because that muscle right there don't work no more. All these muscles work. Say, if I stood up, I could probably pick up 150 pounds to my waist. Mm-hmm. But if I tried to curl 10 pounds, I couldn't. Right. With that. You know what I'm saying? The curling muscle. Mm-hmm. Is what I took. Was the only damage that was done to me. Is that muscle.
From the bruising and everything?
No, that's from the neck.
Straight from the neck.
Yeah. That's the damage that's done to my spinal cord. Unless it's other, head damage or something I don't know about. But yeah, that's the only thing. And then really and truly, that'll never stop. I'll never be the same man I was. But age don't help neither. Mm-hmm. So when you ask me, am I ready to retire? Yeah. But financially, am I ready? I need a few more years. But I probably won't never quit working, because I don't have to quit working to retire.
Right, you can retire, get your benefits.
And then I can still work every now and then. I can make a certain amount of money per year.
Yes, and still like a part-time gig.
Right, so I'll be able to go and hit a shutdown, work a couple months if I want to, if I get bored. But that's probably what it'll be, man. I ain't going to be one that's going to be in the rocking chair, because when you get to that rocking chair, you ain't got too much longer, and I want to live forever.
Forever?
Well, I want to live as long as I can. Forever is how long you live.
Would you want to live forever? Like, if you could live for the rest of the time.
Would I?
Yeah.
And everybody else die around me? Probably not. You see what I'm saying?
What if they could go along with you? Then?
Well, yeah, it'd be, absolutely.
That'd be the ideal situation.
Yeah, and that's kind of what life is to me, in a sense. We live forever, because forever is however long you live. Mm-hmm. I don't know what's after that. I can believe maybe what's after that. You see what I'm saying? But nobody really knows. Everybody, they have their own thing. You know what I'm saying? So nobody really ever knows. Right. So we won't get into that conversation, because my mama's going to be listening to this.
So what's the most favorite job you've ever had? Like, you can look back on and you just loved every moment of it, or just about every moment of it.
The best job?
Yeah.
The one I got right now, man.
Really?
Now, I've done all kind of stuff, but this one here is the most challenging, and it, you know what I'm saying? You never know what you're going to be doing the next day or the next week or two, because one day you might be working on a tower, next day you might be in a furnace at a paper mill, or next week, or because they last more than a day usually. If you got to go in there and repair something, it's a few days. You see what I'm saying? Because you in the positions that it's in, you have to get things from point A to point B. You got to tear the old out, put the new in. So it's not no easy job, but
it's not the same thing over and over and over.
It's
again.
not the same thing over and over repetitiously, man. You're always doing something different, you know. Some jobs last months, some jobs last years. You see what I'm saying? But mostly what I do is 2 or 3 months is as long as you're going to be somewhere.
And then you're off, or you just move on to the next job?
You move on to the next job, or you take off if you want to. You know what I'm saying? I mean, most of the time, I'm gone 6, 8 weeks. I'm back home for a week or two, gone again for 6, 8 weeks. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I've stayed 3 months, didn't come home, and then sometimes I've come home in 2 weeks. I kind of travel to where the money's at. You know, if it's a quick, fast $10,000 for 2 weeks,
$10,000
I go to the $10,000
in 2 weeks.
Yeah, you can make that in my profession in different areas. You know, our union is every city has a different scale. Okay, but we get retirement, we get pension, we get national pension and my home pension. And we get retirement and we make decent wages by the hour. But people think we make a bunch of money. Okay, they like, dang, them guys got it going on because they drive nice trucks, they do. But y'all don't know how much we give up. We don't have a family life. We miss all our, you know what I mean, grandkids stuff, children stuff, things that's going on just to support them so they can do what they do. So we live miserable lives in motel rooms, in campers, and we work 10, 12, 16 hours a day to get these jobs done so America can run, and they think we got a good life. They don't really know because we work in the rain, sleet, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Snow.
Well, clearly you hurt your back in the snow.
Right. So I'm just being honest. I mean, a lot of people think that it's a good profession. Would I recommend it to certain people? Yeah, that could do it. Other people, I'd say, man, no, you better go try to do something else.
Well, it
You
sounds
see what
like
I'm
it would
saying?
make sense if you're like single.
Yes,
No family.
definitely. You
Go
know what I
make your
mean?
money,
Yeah.
and you can.
But you got to have a certain kind of wife and family and stuff like that to do the job I do. See, like I got one of them type of women. Okay, it don't matter. You know, when you're young, you got all that jealousy and all that kind of junk. Then don't even try it because you're gonna get divorced. You're gonna go. I mean, you see what I mean? But that's part of life, man. That's part of life. That's how life works. You know, but you got to have a certain type of wife and family that can deal with that type. You know what I mean? But yeah, I like my job. My wife traveled with me some.
Oh, really?
But when my children were growing up, she was at home with the kids and I supported. You see what I'm saying? So you just got to have a certain type of wife that don't run around, cheat on you, spend all your money and leave you high and dry, because a lot of them out there that do my job, that's what happens to them because they're not there. You know what I mean? And they get lonely and drunk happens. So you got to have a special type of, I'm just saying, you know.
You got a good one.
To really, yeah, I got a good one, but it took 3 to get that one, okay? I'm just being honest. You got to, in order to do the type things that I do, you got to have good people. That's a good one. That's where I'll end that.
And so you've been working up north, you said?
Yeah, I've been working in Ohio, Chicago, Wisconsin, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
And it's just been snowing all up there?
Oh, yeah, man. First 3 weeks I was in Chicago, it snowed 3 weeks. Great. Anytime you get up there around the Great Lakes, stuff like that, you can plan on it. Cold. If you're from the South, I don't recommend going north. But nah, 28 below zero in Wisconsin. This is kind of the, like I say, you got to be a special type of person to be able to handle and do some of the jobs that we do. And if it wasn't for us, part of America wouldn't be going on. You kind of see what I'm saying? Because working 28 below zero, you know what I mean, with 4 layers of clothes on where you can't even move and still do the job. You kind of see.
Did you like that?
I didn't stay there but 2 days. I was gone. I'm from the South. But nah, in Pittsburgh, it was, 30 days. It's different cold. So, yeah, I was able to handle Pittsburgh, Ohio, that area. It ain't real cold. You know what I mean?
Chicago was too much, though.
Chicago, more people die in Chicago every day than anywhere in the United States from stupid junk. So, it was like, walk around with 3 sets of eyes on your head so you could twirl. You always had to look over your back. Junk happens in Chicago, so that's why I didn't really like Chicago too much. I worked at a school in Chicago, running pipe underneath in a basement. And the job was good. It's just real expensive around there and wide open. All I can say is too much going on, too many killings going on for me.
So you have to pay?
So you felt unsafe there. You see what I'm saying? I was from out of town. I didn't know nothing. And you could be at the wrong place, wrong time.
Yeah. You have to pay for your hotel room and all that kind of
Well,
stuff?
see, I only travel if they pay per diem. And per diem takes the place of that motel room. Usually you make more. You get paid to be out of town. That's what per diem is. Take care of you while you're out of town.
Okay.
So I get an average of $100 to $125 a day plus my salary.
And that covers food and everything as well?
Food, motel. In some cases it does. Some places you go, like Chicago, it barely covered it. You see what I'm saying? So if you did any extras, it was coming out your pocket. You also make $53 an hour, so that makes it a lot better too.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So it basically took up for the other because I make more up north than I'm making in the South. It's cheaper to live in the South the way they look at it than it is up north, and it is.
Yeah, it is.
So they pay you more up there than they pay you in the South. So
that's like here, people move from California to here because it's cheaper. You don't have state tax and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we have like that great migration of all the California people moving here.
It's going to grow. They're going to keep doing it.
Okay. Then it just keeps getting more expensive over there.
Mm-hmm.
It'll get more expensive here.
Right. Well, it gets more expensive around my area too now, and they don't raise nothing. We getting a raise this year in our hall. You know what I mean? Because down south I make an average of around 32 to 38, depending upon where I'm working.
Mm-hmm.
Up north I make an average between 40 to 60, depending on where you're working. So that's the difference that they think and the cost of living is. Almost, between $20 an hour. You know what I mean? From the north to the south. Okay? So I can go up there and I can pay that extra for me, but I'll still bring home $10 or $12 more an hour. So that's why I do it. Plus I get an annuity payment. Plus I get retirement, which between $8 or $9 an hour for every hour I work up north. Down south you get $3. So I'm chasing my retirement by going up north and running around these jobs, really, because I want a good retirement when I walk out,
Yeah, of
when
course.
I retire. So right now I got $416,000 in my retirement.
Well, the whole point of retiring so you don't have to worry about it.
Exactly. No more. So right now, that's why for the last 5 years, I've been traveling and not working local. I worked local for 10 or 12 years, since I broke my neck. And then I started traveling 2 years ago because I got to thinking about my retirement. I'm working for my retirement now because of most of the stuff other than my truck that I got is paid for. You see what I'm saying? I pay for my truck, so I trade it every 2 or 3 years so that I don't have to work on it. And it stays in tip-top shape and gets me from point A to point B. I keep it under warranty. That's the cheapest way to do it. In some cases. Now, I went many years where I kept the same vehicle. But that's where I learned when I got old and, just have a reliable transportation is just keep trading one in every 2 or 3 years.
Man.
Get a new one. But this one, on my next one, that's probably going to be the last one I get because I'm going to retire. Mm-hmm. And that would be paid off.
You know, make it all nice one though, right?
To where, yeah, absolutely. I'm going to go to the dealership and say, order this time.
You want all the bells and whistles?
Everything they can give me. For that year model, I done even made one up, and it was something like $103,000. And I'm like, well, I'm gonna pay for one anyway. I might as well get what I want.
Yeah, that's true.
You understand? If it's gonna be my last one, it might be one I hand down to my grandyoung. Who knows? But it's gonna be a nice one. Mm-hmm. It's gonna be another Dodge. Because then I ain't got to worry about the gas mileage. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I ain't going to be a bunch of traveling. That's why I traded my other Dodge. Is because of the gas mileage. Or I'd still have it.
It was just guzzling.
13 miles to the gallon. But it was the 6.4 Hemi. You know what I'm saying? I thought that was going to be my last truck. Thought I'd just pay it off and keep it. But then I started traveling and seeing how much it was eating me in gas bills, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I said, I'll get a smaller one. I'll get another, a Toyota or something like that. And I seen a Toyota and I bought it.
All that traveling doesn't mess with your neck?
Sometimes, you know what I mean? I don't really have a bunch of pain with my neck. At all.
That's amazing.
You know what I mean? My pain, my hands go to sleep, fingers get numb. Sometimes I feel like I wake up with a crick in my neck. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? But everybody has that.
Yeah.
Since they fixed it. But there is more damage done since I've had my surgery. But it's 2 discs above and below are blowing out. So it ain't something I have to have an emergency surgery for or something. If it was blowing in and putting pressure on my spinal cord, they'd have to go back in and fuse them.
So that might have to happen eventually.
That's eventually going to have to happen because of, you know what I mean? But he told me if I wasn't feeling no pain, if, you know what I mean, tingling in my hand starts, that's the first sign of something going on with your spinal cord. Mm-hmm. But it ain't like you have to have emergency surgery. It's like that's the first sign you need to start paying attention to come back and see me and talk about the surgery. But they told me if they did it that I'd lose 75% of the movement in my neck and he'd fuse every bit of it.
So you pretty much have to wait till
I'm pretty much like, I ain't getting it till I have to. Absolutely have to, because I don't feel no pain. I don't have a bunch of pain.
So you would wait till the pain is there, or you would wait till it's unbearable?
Unbearable. Okay, pretty much. I'd wait till the last minute. And like he said, I shouldn't. But, I went back to him last year, which ain't but a month ago, but March, no, not March, November. I went back to him in November, and they done a nerve reduction test and stuff like that to see how much. And I do that because that tells them how much nerve damage is being done.
Right.
And that's shock treatment. Okay, they shock you.
Oh, that's where they put the patches on you and everything?
Yeah, they shock you, okay? And really shock you. I ain't going through that.
Is it one of those ones where it's like they hit you with it and your muscle just spazzes on its own? Yeah.
It's like, that finger and that thumb or whatever, they'll put little things on your fingers like this, and they'll put one right there on your wrist, and when they hit that button, that finger will draw all the way to that wrist. Okay, that kind of shock. It's a shock. It ain't like one of them tensing units, that people use to ease their pain.
Yeah.
No, this right here is shock treatment. Okay, I had it done, and it was bad. Okay, they done the one where they stick this probe in you. They done the patches, but then they got this other one that's like a little hook, and all it does is hook a little bit into your skin. You can feel it pinch you, like almost not as bad as getting a shot. But you ever had a TB test? How they do that on your hand?
I never had that.
You never had a TB test? Well, anyway, okay. So it ain't. It's just a little, like an ant bite, maybe a little. You know what I'm saying? Like an ant bite, sort of like. That's all. You're gonna feel a little prick. But when they stick it to your skin like that with a hook, and then when they hit that tension unit, it's about 3 times as bad. As a matter of fact, I got it marked out. So I wasn't doing that junk.
Is it your whole body that?
They do it all the way up both arms and around my neck. It goes up both your arms with these pads, and it shocks you in every muscle that you got. Pull you. You see what I'm saying? They work their way up to your neck, and then they go down the other side with moving the pads around and shocking you.
And that's just to see how much
nerve reduction.
Yeah. Okay.
See how much you've lost nerve-wise or how
Have
it's
you lost
affected.
a lot?
Well, I guess not, because he didn't say nothing. He didn't really say nothing about that test because I walked out. Okay, I got up. They shocked me so bad, I was like, I'm done. Okay, I'm done. I ain't doing this. Okay? Y'all can hang this up. This is not for me. I let them do my left side with the pads, and I let them do my right side with the pads. But when they started sticking that probe in me and then hitting it, they done it on my neck, and it dragged my jaw around, my head around where I wasn't supposed to be. And she didn't realize that I had a plate in my throat when she done it. She thought I had a fusion. I did have a fusion, but I got a metal plate. It don't move like that. And that junk hurt me. It not just shocking. It hurt me. It made my head go where it wasn't supposed to go, because that metal plate made it intensify. You see what I mean? When electricity went through and hit that plate, it went like I stuck my finger in that wall socket. I ain't lying. So I got up out of bed, went snatching that junk off me, pulling pads off me, and my wife went to laughing, and she was like, "What is wrong?" I said, "I'm done. That's it. They ain't doing no more to me." And the doctor said, "Well, I got to do your right side. I ain't done." I said, "I ain't care what you done. They can't see enough out of that. Forget it, because you ain't hitting shocking me no more." Okay? I done went shock treatment, son. It ain't fun. That wasn't fun.
So is the metal plate attached to your spine?
It's attached to my vertebrae.
It's just, so it's attached to multiple vertebrae.
Yeah.
But it's all one solid plate.
Right.
Wow.
Looks like a doggy bone. Like them little dog biscuits you give to a dog for a treat. That's what it looks like.
That's the shape of it.
That's the shape of it.
See, I always thought when people had plates in their spine, they had it to where it had moving parts in there. Is that way it can move along with your spine or anything?
Right. Now, they might have one now that they could do with that. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? They got stuff where they can take, instead of doing surgery on you now, they can take a needle and stick it in there and fill it up, make you a new disc.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? With whatever they use, you know, to get the pressure off your spinal cord. Matter of fact, I'm going to South Carolina next year in February. I made an appointment with spinal, and let them look at my whole spine. Because I got a degenerate disease that messes up the discs that go up and down because of that, because of my damage.
They just slowly
So it just slowly
deteriorate.
works its way down. Once you have something to do, yeah, they slowly deteriorate. But once you have something done to your spine, your vertebrae and them discs, and like a fusion, they don't move. Nothing moves again like it's supposed to.
Right.
So because this is all fused and it can't move like it's supposed to, it messes up the rest of them.
And it just slowly goes
And
down.
it slowly works on down your spine. So see, like Mom, you see, she's had multiple surgeries on it because it just moved it. Because she had that fusion.
Yeah, she can't move her neck.
And now, exactly,
She
now.
got like a small view of field that she can actually move.
Right.
That's it.
And that's what they told me. If they did it, that's how I would be. Again, you know, like her right now. I'd lose 70%. 75%. I'd have to move my body to drive a vehicle to see. You know what I'm saying? And stuff like that.
Well, at that point, you probably shouldn't even be driving, right?
I doubt that. Got to get from point A to point B, but yeah, at that point, I don't think I'll make it to that point. I don't think I'll have the surgery. I think I'll let it keep on going like it's going.
You think so?
But if they, like I said, that's why I'm going to the other place. I don't think I'm going to let that doctor do the surgery. I think I'm going to go there and let them see if they can do it some other way without surgery.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they specialize in. That's all they do. It's different than a neurosurgeon that fixes people with car wrecks and different, like me, for instance. You know what I mean? That's all they do. That's why I made me an appointment there. Because I want a second opinion. I want to know that can they do something
Without
besides
using
surgery?
movement.
Right. Besides surgery, but you know, can they go in there and put something in there gel-wise or whatever? You know, this is what they do. They try to avoid surgery. They try to fix you without doing surgery. You see what I mean? They got procedures now they can do, like I said, to keep from having to have that
Yeah,
type of surgery.
like you can have cartilage put back in your knee
Right.
and all that kind of stuff without
Right.
slicing you open and all that kind of stuff.
Exactly.
It's crazy.
So I'm leaning more towards not getting cut and whacked anymore. I'm leaning more, give me a shot or
They
something.
put you to sleep for that? Or they just...
Well, when I had a muscle that was reacting after my surgery in my neck, okay, that would draw up and knot up. And it does that because of the type of surgery I had. So they had to go in there and probe and burn the nerve to stop my muscle from doing that. Because it knotted up on the back of my neck and just knot up and cramp. You see what I'm saying? Because that was mainly why, you know, I mean, that was some hurt and junk. Anyway, they had to do a probe on me. Well, what they do when they do stuff like that, you got to feel where they put that needle.
Mm-hmm.
So they won't let you take no medication. They won't put you to sleep. They stick it in you and move it around, and you have to feel the pain until they hit that right nerve. You kind of see what I'm saying?
Oh, so you have to feel it.
You have to feel
let
it.
them know.
Yeah,
That's
hey,
the one.
that's the one. And that's when they burn it. And you know what I mean? With the probe that they got in there, that's what it does. It goes in. Once they find it, it burns the nerve. And that kills the nerve for a couple of years. Then you have to have it done again. Then it's
It
5
grows
years.
back.
Right. Then it's 5 years. And then once they do it the third time, it should last like your lifetime.
That's
See what I'm saying? But I don't know. I mean, my daughter had ear surgery, so she could hear again. And we was in South Carolina, and I was sitting in the waiting room, and on the TV in South Carolina, the Spinal Institute came on in a commercial, and it was people talking about how they saved their life, that they was in pain, and nothing would work, and all this kind of stuff, and how they done these simple procedures to stop them from ever having any problems again, you know what I mean? And I was like, I wonder about that, and see, with my insurance, I don't need a referral. They'll pay for it anyway. You see, so I'm like, okay, this might be a place I want to see. But I was in the waiting room for several hours, and I thought that TV show stayed on for several hours talking about that particular hospital. That's all they do. They do all your therapy, everything in that one building. But they do your surgery if they have to do your surgery in that one building. But they go through all the extremes to try to keep you from having to have some kind of surgery. In other words, that's the last resort in their eyes, is doing the surgery unless it's absolute a must. So they said, make an appointment. Come see us. You kind of see what I'm saying? And we'll evaluate it, and we'll see which would be the best method. But if we have to, result into surgery, you know what I mean?
Right there.
Where it's everything's done all in the same building.
And so if you got the shot, if they were just able to do that, there's no physical therapy after that as well, right?
No. I had it done. I mean, I had it done because of that there. But right now, them discs like I said, they got some kind of procedure where they can go in there now and put a little bit of stuff all the way around it, the gel or whatever they use, and it makes a new disc, and it holds your vertebrae from cracking on each other, keep bone to bone. That's what causes people the pain from a generic disease. Is bone to bone then, instead of having the sponge there so that bone can move freely without hitting another bone.
And you have 4 damaged discs
Yes.
in your spine? And 1 fusion and a metal plate.
Right. And still walking around happy-go-lucky and doing what I do. Yeah.
Man.
I was turned down by disability 3 times. Right after my surgery and stuff like that, because they told me I wouldn't never be able to work like I did again. And so I applied for it, but they turned me down 3 times in a row while I was getting well. And finally I went back to my doctor and said I want to go back to work. I'm done dealing with this or trying to make them do what they got. The government pay me, give me my SSI and all that stuff. I'm just ready to go back to work. It's the only way I'm going to get my arm back right, and get myself back right. And in my profession, there's no light duty. So it was either go straight back to work or find a different profession. So, he disagreed with me at first. But then I said, man, release me. I need to go back to work. Give me permission to go. That's all I needed was a release from him, saying I could go back to work. And he gave it to me. He said, okay. He wasn't going to argue with me no more. He tried to put me off now. But finally, I said, look, I'm done with all this therapy. I'm done with all that. I want to go back to work. You know what I mean? I'm done with this. And he let me go back to work, and I've been working ever since.
You were getting antsy just being stuck doing nothing?
Yeah, man. It drove me crazy, man. Flat crazy.
Just sitting at home.
Yeah, sitting at home, being around 24/7, doing nothing, trying to be protective to keep from getting hurt or thinking I'm going to hurt my neck and all that kind of stuff. And I felt like I was healed, totally, and at that point, he didn't really want to release me. He wanted to keep on, I guess making that money off me or whatever, I don't know. But he didn't want me to, but he wasn't going to stop me, because he thought that I'd go out there and injure myself.
Yeah.
You see, and mess up what he's already fixed. I fooled
Weren't you
him.
scared about that too?
I just was more careful. Yeah, I was kind of cautious at first, but now I'm wide open. Now, you know what I mean? I'm back to me, pretty much. I just had to learn how to compensate for my left arm, but now I do it that way. It's like a habit. My brain tells me to do this instead of using this. You kind of see what I mean? My brain does it. I don't do
It's
it.
like you had to relearn how to use your arms.
Right. And how to grab stuff and know when you go to lift something, this one ain't going to help that. Or don't do it this way. You see what I mean?
You don't ever hurt yourself.
Well, if I work up here like this with my shoulders up ahead and I go to, like, I'm standing on the scaffold and that's the only way I can get to it if I try to push like a pipe wrench or take a hammer and hit it. My neck will say, don't do that. It'll pinch. It'll let you know you don't do that. But other than that, it tells me don't do whatever. It'll let you know. It'll send you a pinch or don't do it.
Yeah, it talks to you.
Yeah, it'll definitely let you know. It'll drop you to your knees if you do it to, the wrong thing. Yeah, it'll let you know, oh no, don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Because you're using muscles up in here then when you're working with your arms, at height level or above your head. Also, like trying to change that light bulb right there. I can't hold my head up, looking up like that too long of a period of time without it letting me know, okay, give your neck a break. So I have to look a little bit, put my head down, look at you, and use my hand. You see what I'm saying?
That fast? That happens?
Yeah.
Wow.
It'll let you know. It's just because my neck don't move like it's supposed to.
But is it also because of that plate that's in there?
That's it. That's what I'm saying. Is it don't move. So when I'll get dizzy looking up if I don't listen to it. You see what I mean? If I keep on be stubborn and keep on looking and doing what I'm doing, so I have to do this and look straight ahead and use my hand, then look back up. You know what I mean? Different things like that, man. You know what I mean? But it hasn't stopped me.
Well, I can tell it hasn't stopped you. Don't sound like it's going to stop you anytime soon either.
No. I'm a survivor. Yeah, that's how my mama made me. I've always been a survivor. I do what I have to do. And I don't ask nobody for nothing. If I can't get it on my own.
Right.
Really. Which is a good thing. I've came a long way. I made it 60 years now, so hopefully I can make it another 60.
You gonna be 120?
I said, maybe.
Live forever.
Forever is as long as you live. Okay? Remember your Uncle Joel said that. Uncle Randy said that.
What do you think? We'll end it here.
Works for me, man.
All right. Well, thank you for doing it. I had a great time talking to you.
Thank you for letting me. How's that?
Yeah, no problem. And we'll do it again someday.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
All right.